Cancelled.
Schweezy.
Okay, so it's now time for me to do a movie review. So, recently I am sad to say that Kevin Clark, the man who played Freddy in School of Rock, recently passed away. It looks like someone with a car, as my friend TJ would like to say, a woman hit him with her car while he was riding a bike. And sadly, he is gone from the world. And I will always remember him from School of Rock, always being the cool drummer kid, and reminding us all, so I wanted to review School of Rock today. That's basically the reason why. And one of the main reasons is, 2003, I was 10 years old. The kids in the movie were 10 years old in the movie. Okay, I think that's enough burping. They were 10 years old in the movie, so they were my age, and really inspired me to play music, and inspired a lot of my friends to even get into playing music like that.
This is the type of guy you get.
That's how they got the type of guy we're getting. That's what inspired me to play. One of the many things that inspired me to play music. So let's just get into it. I'm going to review this movie. I haven't watched this movie in a long time, so I have a lot to say about it. And like always, I always have problems with it. But overall, I do enjoy this movie. But I still have to point out all my problems. So we open up with the character Dewey Finn. I may be calling him Dewey, maybe calling him Jack Black. Just deal with it.
Pretty bold of you little fucks to assume that I'm not God.
So, yeah, we open up with him, and he's playing in a band, but it doesn't look like he's going anywhere with his music career. He tries to do a stage dive, and he jumps off, and no one catches him, which is very sad to do for any human being. They just do that shit. So they do that. Then you go to his home life, and he's living with his best friend Ned, who used to be in a band, but is now a substitute teacher. And Dewey calls him a temp the entire show, and that's hilarious as fuck to me, calling him a temp. So we're gonna keep going with that shit. But his girlfriend, Sarah Silverman, I put down Saving Silverman in my notes, which I need to watch that movie again. Sarah is mad because Sarah Silverman is mad at Ned for letting Dewey just freeload and basically not paying his rent and shit like that. So that's kind of the thing. He's in a band that's not doing very well. He's kind of not making any money, and his roommate's girlfriend, Saving Silverman, is upset that Dewey's not paying his fair share of the rent and shit like that, and letting Ned get walked all over. So yeah, so eventually Dewey goes back to his band practice, and looks like he has been replaced by a man named Spider. Yep, folks, you heard that correctly. His name is Spider. Now, Spider doesn't seem like he has a lot going on upstairs in the head, and that's kind of lead singer energy, because lead singer, you could be a dipshit. Also bass player energy, but with Spider, it looks like he has the musical talent, but he doesn't look very smart. So that's a problem. That's his problem. So that's one thing going on with him. So he gets replaced by Spider, which the band's called No Vacancy, which I didn't learn to the very end, which is a stupid name for a band. So basically, that's the situation our main character, our protagonist, is in, Jack Black. So
that's rough, buddy.
So the plot moves forward, and Joan Cusack is trying to reach Nudge Schneebly to be a substitute teacher at their school, because the teacher broke their leg and apparently has to take 4 weeks off. I'm just going to assume it's a very bad leg strain, or else that there could be a lot of different problems.
Be gone, fuck!
I don't know why I pressed that one. So once Dewey learns that it's $650 a week, which is actually pretty good even now. I have to imagine in 2003 in whatever the fuck city they live in, which I don't know. It's either New York, Chicago. It's a good question. Who decides to pretend to be Ned and take the role and try to get the substitute teaching job, so he can do that shit. So when he gets into the class, this is Mr. Schneebly, and Dewey cannot write his best friend's last name, which is not Ride or Die, which is an EP actually that I have released out now wherever you listen to your music.
I like that.
And so that's one thing for sure. You should know how to spell your best friend's last name, especially someone who's letting you live rent-free, not inside their head, but in real life. So, things go on, and Dewey's just thinking, I'm just going to lay around, do nothing, and the kids can do nothing as well, do whatever the fuck they want. But all the kids want to learn something because they're a bunch of fucking nerds. And, yeah, and so they're like, hey, kids, I'm hungover, so can we not, do this? And they're like, doesn't hangover mean you're drunk? He's like, no, it means I was drunk yesterday. It's like, who gets drunk on a weekday night? That means you're an alcoholic. And you're like, shut up, Freddie. Freddie says that, may he rest in peace. Means I was drunk. I love that. Doesn't hangover mean you're a drunk? He's like, no, it means I was drunk yesterday. And that is a great way to live life. Live life 365, as some would say. But yeah, no, that was a pretty funny exchange. Right as the clock strikes 3, though, Dewey just jets out immediately. And you think, as a teacher, teachers aren't supposed to do that. But then you think about other jobs, and we're like, oh, I would definitely be doing that shit. And he puts up flyers around town trying to recruit people for a band, and everyone calls him like an ass. But yeah, he has a conversation with Ned and Sarah Silverman, and they're like, well, I got a job being a temp. And so I might have some money coming in, and Ned still gets mad. It's a substitute teacher, not a temp. So, yeah. So we move on to the next day. After giving the kids a strict talking to about who the man is, always keeping them down. Y'all know what the fuck the man is.
I like that.
No, that's not what I wanted.
That's rough, buddy.
I need different sound drops for different feelings, okay? And then they have music class practice, so they're all... Well, I know going in that, the kids in the band are all musicians before being in the movie, but, the whole class is actually, good at clarinet and flute and all other shit. And so, very interesting. So, after Jack Black sees that, he decides, I'm going to take all the instruments I already had in my van, including, a 1970s Gibson SG and Flying V, which, if you look right now, at least, the good ones... are super goddamn expensive, and it's not something you just want to keep chilling in your car. And then a bass that looks like ass too, and then the amps don't sound good at all either for some reason. It's all just clean tones, not even good clean tones. And then Jack Black has the little amp on the belt clip type thing, which is cool for a thing, but it sounds it's not gonna sound super good. It still kind of sounds like ass. Anyway, so then we're like, hey, I saw you guys playing music, and guess what? Let's try to get you all playing music. So first we get Zach, the guitar player. Zach, now, the actor, was arrested for stealing guitars, so you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. We got Lawrence, the only Asian kid in the class, playing keyboard, surprisingly. Then they have Katie. She plays cello, so they're like, well, bass is close enough, so I guess you're playing bass now. And then they get Freddie on the drums, and then he teaches them all how to play Smoke on the Water. Katie just rocks a solid G. Freddie does ding, dicka, ding, dicka, ding, dicka, ding on the cymbal, not on the toms, though, because that's too George of the Jungle. And then Zach's obviously playing down, 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 yeah, down, 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 down. And so they're just jamming out to Smoke on the Water. And then Jack Black's like, all right, time for our new secret project called Rock Band. And so he's like, we're all going to start a rock band, and I'm going to give you all different roles. He then asks for backup singers, and then 2 girls are pretty good, and then iCarly decides she wants to be a singer, and she decides to sing Memory by Cats. Now, first of all, folks, the only time you need to be performing any song from the musical Cats is if you're auditioning for the musical Cats. Never bring that shit to an audition. Now, I can be a bit of a hypocrite when I say this.
That's rough, buddy.
Because when I was in college and I'd do piano proficiency, and yeah, folks, I had to take the piano classes in college. Did I get an A in all of them? Of course I fucking did. You all know what the fuck is going on.
And I really like that.
Basically what I'm telling you, never perform anything from Cats ever unless you are performing in Cats. So that musical is just fucking weird. And everyone's like, oh, the movie's bad. I'm like, yeah, the fucking musical's bad too. I don't know what you're fucking talking about. Memory all alone in the moonlight. and I had like the sheet music somewhere. My friend Caleb was like, I had it next to like my piano, a keyboard back when I lived in Missouri. And I just had like a stack of piano books and like, yeah, other piano sheet music too, including the stuff from school. And he was like, why do you still have all this? I was like, just for piano stuff. Anyways, no, let's move on. So, never auditioned with Memories from Cats or any song from Cats ever for any reason whatsoever.
This is the type of guy you get.
So, yeah, and so before they get to class roles, they do have lunch, and Lawrence doesn't think he's cool, and Jack Black has to remind him, and this was a long time ago, this would not work today, that you could look like toe fungus, and you would still be a sex god in a rock band, unless, the two exceptions, you will not be a sex god in a rock band if you are in Weezer or in Ghost Town Remedy, because those are the two bands that are not made for women. Those are for virgins. So that gives Lawrence the confidence to continue to move on and be cool and a rock star. So then they're assigning all the roles to kids in class. Some kids security, some kids have other tasks they have to do, roadies, groupies, and shit like that. iCarly gets stuck with the groupies. And then, like, the next day, she comes up, it's like, I know what a groupie is. They sleep with the band. And then he's like, fuck. What do you want? He's like, I want to be band manager. So, iCarly goes from being a thought to the band manager, which apparently she does a pretty good job at. So it all works out for everyone in the end.
White people, white people.
All right. And then, Jack Black's like, okay, what music do you guys listen to? Like, what inspires you? And here are three examples. The white girl says Christina Aguilera, and the only black kid in the class says Puff Daddy, and another girl says Liza Minnelli. And Jack's like, y'all listen to garbage. Which Christina Aguilera and Liza Minnelli, they're very talented. I don't know why you would call that shit. Puff Daddy, we can talk about another day. So they're like, all right, so we're going to have to do like a history of rock lesson. So they're actually going to learn something in this. So yeah, they're going to actually learn it. And they're like, oh, what songs are we going to sing for this Battle of the Bands that you have for this rock band project? He's like, I wrote the song. And then he performs kind of a rough rendition of You're Not Hardcore Unless You Live Hardcore. And the legend of the rent was way hardcore. Yeah, so they kind of have everything planned out. They got the rules and they got the lessons and all that shit. So this is where we start getting into some problems with the movie. He assigns some kids to soundproof the room. Now, I have a degree in music technology, so I know a bit about sound and acoustic treatment into a room. As you can see, if you're watching the video, I do have a bit of soundproofing in the room, and that's why my recordings never sound fully like ass. So basically, for a soundproof room, basically what you would do is build a room inside of a room. So you have the walls of the room inside of the room, and then in between the room inside of a room, you put like rock wool, which is like this insulation type foam that's super thick and dense. That way, basically what you have to do, so when sound travels, so me speaking, and let's say this is a wall. Let's say this is a wall. So me speaking, singing, and then sound waves go into this wall, kind of gets diffused by the wall a little bit, or echoes, and then goes out the other wall. That's kind of how sound works. Now with the room inside of the room, let's do these two are rooms. So basically, boom, and then kind of gets absorbed by that and doesn't make it into the other room. That's basically how full soundproofing works in a room. My room is acoustically treated, so it sounds good, but it's not soundproof. So I have to explain that to everyone good luck actually making a soundproof classroom and not being suspicious. Don't be suspicious. And then also he gives like CDs to kids to like study. And it's really, really cool because that back then, at that time in 2003, having a big CD collection or even an iPod, like I do right now, it was actually a very cool thing. And so I just miss those days of being cool for having like a 80 gig iPod. It's like, yep, man, I have all that and more, and all that shit. So we go through this montage of the kids learning songs and all that shit, and then all of a sudden, they have to do their audition for Battle of the Bands, which is a great montage because they all have to sneak out of the classroom into the back of Jack Black's windowless van, and then they drive to the audition. And so, getting ready to audition. However, Freddy is gone missing, so Jack Black has to go find Freddy, and Freddy's like playing cards with a bunch of like stoner druggy rockers and whatever. And he actually gave a good talk to him about how, like, look, those guys are fucking losers. Like, they do drugs and they're never going to make it anywhere in their life. I'm trying to help you get somewhere in life in a music career. And that's why you got to stay away from that shit. Just drink alcohol and shit like that. I guess, even though in the beginning of it, don't fucking ruin your life with that shit. So, that's that. So that's good. But they miss the Battle of the Bands auditions mainly because Freddy was missing, and then so they have to lie to the audition people. It's like, look, these kids are in a hospital and they just had a dream of playing Battle of the Bands, and so pretending they're like terminally ill, they now are in the Battle of the Bands even though they didn't audition. So cool shit right there. And just a reminder, this audition is in the morning on a weekday, FYI, and there's more problems with that Battle of the Bands coming up, so that's how they get in. At one alarm, they do almost get caught playing music together, but they get everything away at the last minute, except for Jack's Gibson SG, which he pretends to use to help teaching math, with math. And so that, after the teacher has to listen to him teach all day. And so after school, they're like, you want to go get coffee? And she's like, sure. And so they go to a bar and get drunk. He puts on some Stevie Nicks, just like the wire-winged dove, sings a song, sounds like she's singing. Ooh, baby, ooh, yeah, ooh.
I like that.
Gets that on, and then he convinces her to actually let him go on a field trip to listen to some music, which is the Battle of the Bands, FYI. And he gets away with it. So basically he gets all that approved and everything's good to go. But then Jack Black goes home, and he also gets stuck having to go to the parents' night. And Ned gets a check from the school, and Ned's going to call him and say this was a mistake. And then, Jack Black has to admit, look, man, I've been pretending to be as a teacher. We're going to do this Battle of the Bands shit. He confesses the whole story. So then he has to leave for parents' night. And of course, fucking Ned fucking Schneebly confesses to Sarah fucking Silverman and gets the truth out of Ned. And then now she goes full throttle and includes the police there. So then basically Jack is at the parents' night thing, and they're like, why is my kid listening to rock music? Yeah, he keeps playing rock music on the guitar and shit like that. And then the best line out of the movie, and the reason why I am probably not a teacher, because I would say this at every parent-teacher conference. I've been touched by your kids, and I'm pretty sure... Oh, sorry, I messed that up. I've been touched by your kids, and I'm pretty sure I've touched them. And he makes a big escape. It has to leave because the police are there, because it's Sarah Silverman for some fucking reason. And he's running out, and he makes an escape. Makes it back to Ned and apartment, even though Sarah's the one trying to arrest him. Also he doesn't go to jail or anything like that. Somehow he just makes it out okay. Probably because he didn't molest any of the kids. Good lesson. If you're going to do something illegal, don't molest a kid. Maybe just don't molest kids in general. Maybe let's live a life hack. You can do illegal things, just don't have it involve kids. Don't make it sexual with kids. So the next day, they're always like, can't believe he was just using us for the Battle of the Bands. But the kids want to play Battle of the Bands with Daddy Jack. So they basically get on the bus that was for their field trip and go ahead and pick up a hungover Jack Black. And they're like, all right, come on, let's get going. And going in there, Sarah Silverman's not happy that he's doing it still. And Ned's like, fuck you, Sarah, I'm going to the Battle of the Bands. And so as we all discovered, they show up to the Battle of the Bands. On stage playing is No Vacancy, Jack's old band, with Spider wearing the stupidest fucking outfit I've ever seen in my life. Leather pants. It's no shirt, but it's leather sleeves only. Just leather sleeves. So what's the fucking purpose? It looks so fucking stupid. He's wearing leather fucking sleeves? Really? Leather sleeves? That's it? Like, first of all, you just look fucking stupid. I don't know who let you out of the house. If a bandmate of mine wore that on stage, I would be like, what the fuck are you wearing right now? Change right now. That's the shit. So after they get done playing, they're like, all right, Zach, we're going to play your song because we only got one good chance. And then Zach's like, you have to sing it, though. I'm like, he's like, all right, that's a deal because you suck at singing, Zach. And then, like, yeah, they're getting ready to set up their stage equipment. And then the parents show up, and they're like, we want in. Our kids are in there. They're like, we're not letting you in without a ticket. And, like, they keep complaining about that, but eventually they do buy tickets, which is a big thing because they pay $15,000 a year for their kids to go to that school, but yet they're too fucking stingy to be buying Battle of the Band concert tickets.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
That's a big thing. And also, this Battle of the Bands is on a weekday in the morning, FYI. I know that's what you were wondering about, so wonder what those ticket prices were. I'm guarantee you it was cheap enough for someone who pays $15,000 a semester for their kids to go to a school to be able to pay for it. So that's the thing. So let me talk about their live performance. Obviously, I know it was like a studio recording that they're lip singing to on stage, but let's indulge. So like the final performance, like the drums aren't mic'd at all. So, and then also the drums have wind chimes and a gong. Like what the fuck music is going on here? Is someone playing Bohemian Rhapsody on the stage? Move up. Come on, Neil Peart. We got the setup just for you. Yeah. And so, and then no one ever uses the wind chimes or the gong. So, let's keep that in mind. Everyone has really good stage presence, except for there's a lot of times there's two guitar parts, but only Zach is playing and Jack Black is just walking around looking like he's in AC/DC. And then, like, you know, they kill it at the performance, and Jack Black is able to jump and do a stage dive, and they actually catch him. Luckily, they catch him. And the parents are like, wow, that was really good, kids, and now we don't give a shit about you being... I guess they would say Jack Black kidnapped him, even though the kids all did it on their own. But now they don't give a shit about any of this. They're like, kids, we're going to let you be in a rock band now. That's how you get through to your parents about your life goals. But unfortunately, Jack's old band, No Vacancy, wins. Probably because they thought their guitar player, Spider, was mentally challenged and only wore sleeves on stage. That's the only way I can even... really think of how they won, but however, School of Rock got an encore. So, you know, you win, you lose. I don't know. And they end it, instead of playing an original song, their only other original song being The Legend of the Rent, that's way hardcore. They don't play that one. They decide to play A Long Way to the Top by AC/DC. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And basically that shows Jack Black starting an after-school program called School of Rock, teaching kids after-school guitar and being in a rock band and shit. And even Ned gets involved with like teaching 5-year-olds how to play guitar, which is really cool. And he has that like calm demeanor that I think is really good to work with kids.
This is the type of guy you get.
And that's how the movie ends. The credits roll with them playing It's a Long Way to the Top if you want to rock and roll. Let's also keep in mind they're doing this whole music school in their apartment, meaning that their neighbors are just okay with it for some reason. That between the hours of like 3 p.m. and between like 3 p.m. and 8 p.m., it is just loud as hell and unlivable for a normal fucking human being. So let's keep that in mind. And that's School of Rock, folks. One of my favorite movies that's come out. You know, it's just a genuine classic. I initially had the movie. I got it $5 from a Walmart bin. I think I was in 8th grade too when I got it too. So it's been a while from it. So that's School of Rock. One of just a great movie. If you're a kid, like it's great if like to watch it with a kid. Like, you know, they're around 10 years old where they can watch a movie with some like cussing, because there's only like a little bit of drinking, cussing, and stuff like that. Like a little bit of cussing, and then like old enough like a kid can watch. It's like a PG-13 movie, so like a 10-year-old can watch it. You know they can. I don't get inspired them to start playing music, but nevertheless, there is the meme that I have to go through in the true story, and I'll read this to you. And I'm hoping I don't fucking mess this up.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
The real unsung hero in School of Rock is the promoter who got about 2,000 people to a local Battle of the Bands on a weekday morning. That guy's a fucking hero. I think I've been invited to play like 3 Battle of the Bands, and I said no to all of them. I think they wanted me to pay to be in the Battle of the Bands, and I said, fuck that. Yeah, I was like, if someone tells me I have to pay, if it's a pay-to-play type situation, no. Never miss me with that bullshit. That's a scam already. You talk about, like, I'll talk with, like, music friends all the time who are just like, yeah, so we showed up, we started unpacking, we started getting ready to show, and then, like, some guy who works there is like, hey, where's our payment? You're pay to play. And they're like, fuck that shit. And then they, like, all, like, we packed up and just left because that's not worth it to us. So, like, congratulations, now you don't have any entertainment. Yeah. We're gonna do this right.
And I really like that.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
We did that. So never pay to play unless it's actually a good opportunity. Like if it's an actual good opportunity, there are cases where that actually is a good option to pay to play, but like it has to sound like it's a good reason, not just like someone trying to convince you to do it. Okay. So that's School of Rock. That's all I have to say. That promoter, I want them to work in my entire life. I want to work with that promoter. So thank you. There, Schwokelord. You just finished a full clip from the show. I hope you liked it, and I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to check out more, we got more links here. We got full episodes, more clips, and the best of everything. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, and like this video if you enjoyed it.